welcome to Finland, where we get set for the first game of the Women's World Championships. Vanta, Finland is to the north end of Helsinki. I'm Jim Mullen, along with Leah Palmer, getting ready to bring you Canada and Australia in what we thought was going to be the number 2 game this afternoon. It's actually the opening game. We'll get into that story a little bit later on. Leah, what should we expect out of two teams that have been really parked due to the pandemic?
Well, Jim, Canada's been on the sidelines for a while because of the pandemic, as has Australia. I think we're going to see a little rust here at the beginning. We're going to see how everybody gets out of the starting gate, and we'll see what they put together. But I think they're going to have to shake it off a little bit at the beginning because both of these teams haven't seen much action as a result of the pandemic over the past couple of years.
And that will be an unfolding story today, as Christy Elliott is getting ready to kick off and waiting the signal. Christy Elliott is going to be one of the stories today, playing with Simon Fraser of the NCAA, the first woman to score a point in an NCAA from Canada.
Gorgeous day for football out there, Jim. They got 18 degrees on the field. Looking like a perfect temperature to play a football game.
And just a slight breeze to the back of Elliott at about 10 to 15 kilometers an hour. And we are back with Australia on 2nd down and 8 as Paholik tries to connect with Christy Turner, but that is broken up, and that will bring up 3rd down. Apologies for the breakdown in the feed from Finland.
Great defensive read here by number 8 for Canada, Casey McCombs.
Now 4th down into the game to punt. It'll be Xanthi Gray back at her own 31-yard line. And now we have whistles as Team Canada had a personnel issue and was forced to call a timeout.
Working out all the jitters here to get started. These teams really haven't had a big chance to get themselves organized. They usually come together. I know Canada's come together with just a week.
So Gray to punt from her own 30. And decides to throw. There's a bit of a surprise, and it's a completion to Shannon Whale, who gets it inside the 45-yard line, and it's the first down of the game for the Outback.
Canada definitely surprised on this one.
Shannon Whale, noted returner for Team Australia. Under the Rockingham Vipers, Australia on the move now. 1st down at the Canada 43. The snap goes high, and it's going to be a big loss as Paholik wisely jumps on the ball and will create 2nd and long for the green and gold.
I think we're seeing just some miscues here at the beginning. Everybody's working out the kinks at the beginning of the game. Everybody's a little nervous out there to start.
Second down and 20. Paholik completes it to DeMizio, who's forced out of bounds after getting some of that loss back, at least most of it. DeMizio out of the Northern Raiders in Melbourne with the reception, and on third down, the pass over the middle is incomplete. Cody Fuller, the intended receiver. And Aaliyah, as you mentioned, there are a lot of jitters and there's a lot of rust flying off of both these sides so far. Timing is an issue. Fourth down and 11. Australia going to pin their ears back and go for it here. The pass is complete, but it's well short of the first down. And Canada will take over in fairly good field position around midfield. So Maud Lacasse will break huddle for Canada at quarterback. First offensive set of the game for Team Canada, starting at their own 41-yard line. And the give to Haley Egge, who will get it over the midfield stripe for a good gain on first down. Egge from Swan River, Manitoba. She was the leader in rushing in the WWCFL for 3 years. And she'll pull the ball down, and Lacasse will take off with it and get enough for the first down. On 2nd and 3, she gets a gain of close to 5.
And Jim, this Australian front has just 3 defensive linewomen up there. So Canada's going to try to take advantage and run the ball a little bit here.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we were talking about before the start of this game is the 3-3-5 that is employed by Team Australia. And they can do all kinds of different looks with this. But it really opens things up for the running game for Team Canada. On first down from the 47. They stick to the ground with Egge. She'll get a gain of about 3 yards.
Yeah, Canada's offensive linemen are going to have to start looking for linebackers to pick up because they're not necessarily used to seeing a three front defense like this. So they're going to have to go move up to the secondary to start blocking.
Second down and 7. Lacasse throwing over the middle, wide open over the middle. Hauling it in is Virginie Roussel from the Montreal Blitz. And the first time they go to the air, it nets results for Team Canada.
Quick post pattern from Roussel, right up in the middle. Kind of hit that hole in the defense.
Ball marked just inside the 20, outside of the 19-yard line. First down, Canada in the red zone. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Egge, the lone back, she will get the call, driving into the middle and taken down by Edbrook, the nose tackle, after a gain of about 3.
Jim, I think Canada's adjusting to this because they haven't necessarily seen this type of front before, so linemen are trying to work it out.
It'll be interesting to see how Australia tries to disguise things. Right now they've got 5 in the box. They'll go to the end zone, and it is broken up, but flags come down as it looks like it's going to be pass interference against Australia.
Little fake from Lacasse to the right side. Tried to look off the receiver.
Laurence Point-Briand, the intended receiver. So with the penalty, they march it down to the 4-yard line. 1st and goal from that point. Lacasse in the pistol with Eggy off her hip. Eggy gets the call, shuffles a little bit, was slowed up at the line of scrimmage by Emma Deller, and that will actually be a loss of a couple of feet.
Yeah, there was some good penetration by Australia's defense.
So loss of 1 on that last play. 2nd and goal to go from the 5. First drive for Canada with the red and white knocking on the door. Here's Eggy, and she gets just over the 5-yard line, and Australia doing a good job of confusing that Canadian front.
Yeah, they are indeed. Got a goal line defense set up here, stopping Canada right in their tracks. Gonna wonder if Canada might look to go to the air for this one.
They have had some success through the air so far. 1 for 1, 25 yards for Lacasse. Let's see if she goes to the air this time. Sets, throws over the middle, and it is caught for the touchdown. Laurence Point-Briand on the slant inside, hauls it in, and Canada is on the board.
It's a great quick slant from Laurence Point-Briand. These two girls play together in Montreal, so they've got a connection already. She just beat her defender. She was one-on-one with her defender, beat her right off the line.
So Christy Elliott in for the point after. Flags down, so this will not count. So we haven't gone over the keys to the game, but one of the keys to the game for Canada was to get out and establish tempo. And that's exactly what they've done here against a very young Australian team that needed to establish some confidence. Strike early. It's the first drive of the game. They strike with a touchdown. They did keep it simple on the ground in that first drive, and they completely dictated the tempo. This is what you want to see if you're Team Canada.
Absolutely, Jim. And I think, this is like we were seeing on the first couple of plays, nerves, I think, got the better of everybody. This is a great sort of start for Canada so that they can just break out of those nerves. I feel like, having been a player myself, once you get that first play under your belt, everything kind of falls into place. So this is a really nice start for Canada.
This will be a 24-yard point after attempt. That is up and through for Christy Elliott, and Canada takes a 7-0 lead after their first drive.
And Australia doesn't really have, they haven't had a huge presence on the international scene just yet, with 2017 being their first showing at the Worlds. So this is all experience for them, and they're learning as they go. Whereas Canada, they've been around since 2010. So Canada, this is their 4th showing at the Worlds, and they've done very well in all their other showings, albeit having some tough competition against the U.S.
Well, these two teams met in 2017. Canada winning that game 31-6 at the World Championships in Langley, British Columbia, just outside of Vancouver. So these two teams have a bit of a history. Canada dominant in that game, mostly in the second half. Australia had a few moral victories in the first half of that game. And this will be fielded by Shannon Whale, who gets up to the 33-yard line and no more.
Great coverage by Canada. They were down there real quick.
Boulanger with the
And
stop.
that's number 91, yeah.
So 1st and 10 Australia at their own 34-yard line.
So let's see what Australia has to offer here on offense.
Izzy Paholik at the controls, 2 for 4 so far for just 12 yards. If Australia is going to have success, they're going to need to try to do it through the air, and there's some proof right there as Casey Byrne is stuffed up in the interior of the line by 3 red-clad Canadian defenders.
It's difficult, Jim, because usually you'd like to try to establish a bit of a running game first so that you can then either have the option of running or passing and keep the defense on their heels. But
on 2nd down, Paholik finds Grace Murphy, who scoots her way to a 1st down. So Australia with their 2nd first down of the game, now getting on the move, maybe getting into some rhythm here, which is really important for a young team that needs to establish some confidence. And once again, Casey Byrne stuffed at the line. You need to think that Australia is going to have to rely on the aerial game.
it seems to be the case, Jim. And Canada's got a very athletic defensive front, so this line is very quick, agile, and they're going to be in Australia's face all day long.
On 2nd down, they air it out. 2 receivers in the same neighborhood, so a bit of miscommunication there. And there are flags down at around the 35. It's going to be pass interference against Canada.
Looks like it was Nicole Drouin, maybe. So Australia will get a new set of downs here. And so far that passing game is what's working out best for them.
So 1st down Australia at the Canada 39. Paholik airing it out down the right side, and it is caught and hauled in by Cody Fuller. Gain of close to 20 on that one. And even though it's a very slow developing play, Australia's been able to deliver through this passing game.
They're getting it done. Yeah, that's a great extension by the receiver. Fuller, she went up, got that ball.
On the inside run, that is Casey Byrne, this time getting some positive yards after getting stuffed twice earlier in this drive on 2 losses. That'll be a gain of close to 3. Ball placed at the 19. 2nd and 7. Split backs with Paholik right in the middle, in the pistol. Swings it out. It is complete to DeMizio, and she's got a lane, and she's in the end zone. Touchdown, Australia.
That is going to be a great confidence boost for this young team. Nicely run play.
Well, we talked about how Australia was building a team based on speed, and we saw a lot of speed on that drive, Aaliyah.
Demizio with a nice little stutter step inside to kind of freeze the defender and then took it back out to run into the end zone.
I think we have a bit of a track meet today, don't we? So far, so good.
It's what it's looking like. These two teams actually are nicely matched. They're similar in terms of how their style of play.
Flags down on the point after.
Well, and Australia came back very nicely and answered Canada's score. So this is, as I was saying, great confidence for them to build upon as the game moves forward.
Well, Christy Elliott actually missed on that PAT, so this gives Australia the opportunity to pull into the lead. Marissa Hayes attempting the PAT. Sloppy snap, and it is wiped out by Nura Mohindo as Xanthi Gray, who was trying to get the placement on that, probably did the wisest thing right there, and that means we're tied at 6.
We've got ourselves a ball game here. Canada in this next drive is looking like they're going to have to come out and set that tone again. If they can build upon what they had done on the first drive, we'll have a nice outcome.
Okay, we had referenced the keys to the game for Australia. Establish physical play early. I'm not sure if they've done that, but they've got plenty of youthful energy and plenty of speed so far, Aaliyah.
Absolutely. I think the physical play is going to be a little difficult, just because they seem to be getting the ball in the air as quickly as possible. So there's not even a ton of time for that physicality, but we'll see what transpires here as Canada gets the ball back.
Marissa Hayes to kick off for the Outback as we are tied at 6. It is a squib kick that is picked up by Costagiannopoulos and taken out across the 46-yard line. You know, one of the things we should mention is this broadcast itself. It's an interesting configuration we have. I'm here in Vancouver. You are in Montreal. They are in Finland. And this is being moved over to the Olympic Channel in Spain. There's a lot of pieces that need to come together in this broadcast.
Oh, yes. And we know how technologically sound I am, so it's been a challenge.
Tied at 6 on first down for Canada. And they will go to the ground with Hannah McEwen with her first carry of the game. A Winnipeg native, one of 2 players that went south of the line to play with the Texas Elite Spartans.
Again, some speed to the outside, but some great blocking there from Rosamélie Brunet, number 9, on the outside. That receiver really sealed the line so that, or sealed the outside so that the running back could get outside.
Gain of 9, 2nd and 1. And the give again to McEwen. She'll have the first down and more as she waltzes out of bounds at the 36-yard line. So Canada on the move, and it's all on the ground.
Which I think is a smart move because they're doing well with it. Keep with the running game as long as you can. If things are working against this 3-man front, it's, I think, the smartest option for now. And why fix it if it ain't broke?
Already 2 carries for 19 yards for McEwen, who remains in the backfield as the lone setback. Canada goes 2 by 2 on this first down play. Little bit of motion. Everybody gets back on side as Lacasse takes the snap, steps up, throws deep, and connects with Roussel.
That is a great pass right into that seam, that little hole right between the safety and the corners. Nicely threaded ball right in there where only Roussel could catch it.
So once again, Canada in the red zone. They are 1 for 1 in the red zone. Ball placed at the 5-yard line. First and goal to go from there with 1:47 remaining in this first quarter. And on the keeper, Lacasse is wrapped up in the backfield. Marissa Hayes in there with the stop for the outback.
Yeah, Australia read that one really nicely. Hayes came in right away. Didn't bite on that fake. That's some good contain from the Australia defense. So you got to wonder if Canada is going to go back to their passing game here, since they've had some nice connections.
Well, McEwen checks out of the game. Kendra Nash in as the running back. Canada running an H-back with Sarah Wright on the left side as flags come down.
Looks like maybe we have a false start. Oh.
Canada taking too much time. And once again, we see some challenges with some personnel sets for Canada. This is the second time so far in this quarter that they've had issues. They've had to burn a timeout on a personnel set. Nash with the give, but she is boot topped by Kelly Whitehead, the middle linebacker out of the South City Chiefs.
Yeah, Jim, coming back to your point, Canada's going to have to be a little bit more disciplined. They're, like I said, I think everybody's a little nervous first game of the tournament, but these are things that are going to have to be cleaned up for moving down the line, because other opponents, as we move forward, are going to just get tougher and tougher, and you want to make sure that you have a clean slate to be working with.
Now, in those keys to the game, we talked about Australia getting physical. They've been physical in the red zone so far with the running game, but not with the passing game, as hauling it in is Rose-Emily Brunet. And she's just about a yard short of pay dirt.
Yeah. Nice little move inside after that catch. Couple of yak yards afterwards.
4th down and 1. This should be the final play of the first quarter.
What do you say, Jim? They go back to their running game for this one to try to punch it in?
Well, they're going to try to punch it in on the first play of the second quarter, as we are tied at 6 and Canada is knocking at the door. We'll return to Vanta, Finland in a moment. As we open the second quarter of play, Canada knocking on the door as we are tied at 6. 4th and 1 from the 1. Lacasse with the give to Eggy. She puts her head down and drives and finds the promised land for the touchdown for Canada.
Great push by the O-line here. Just driving back those defensive linemen and managing to pick up those linebackers to prevent them from popping through. So let's see if Canada can put this PAT through. Struggled on the last one.
Christy Elliott makes no mistake this time, bounces it off the scoreboard, right off the World Championship logo. She had great aim on that one. As Canada takes a 7-point lead.
So Canada not wasting a minute here, just getting right back on track after the Aussie score. We'll see what Australia has to come up with if they have an answer. But so far, really nice going back and forth here. Got a good game going on.
Players by club team for Canada, the Saskatoon Valkyries, the dominant team in the WWCFL, leading with 11, the Montreal Blitz. Aaliyah, a team that you're very familiar with from your past with 10. Really, this is a system in Canada that has been built from, I like to call it Saskatoba, between Saskatchewan and Manitoba, and Quebec.
Quebec.
It's uneven across the country.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we just don't seem to have the as much interest as we would like. We're definitely trying to build some more football in through Ontario, mid Canada.
Well, there has been some talk with the BC Junior Football Conference about getting involved in women's football, and that might give British Columbia the opportunity to build the game there. Right now, Christy Elliott, really the lone representative of football in BC.
Yeah, it would be nice to see if we could get some more implication from the other provinces. Australia has a great system set up. They have teams in all of their states across Australia, so they've really got a good football program up and running there.
DeMizio with the return. Australia starts 1st and 10. At their own 30-yard line. Paholik swings it out to DeMizio once again, and she is trapped up virtually for no gain. Missy Paholik putting together a pretty good first quarter so far, 5 of 7 for 59 yards and a TD strike. And when you look at the depth chart of Australia, there's 2 players behind her with significant time with American teams. Paholik with the Northern Raiders from Melbourne, as on the ground, Australia will claw 7 back and turn it into a 2nd and 5. Led by Byrne on the ground, and Australia now starting to establish some pace with their running game. They were stuffed a couple of times on their opening drive for a couple of losses. Now they're getting positive yards on the ground.
Well, and good on them for sticking with it. They didn't abandon it, which is important because now they've got, like you said, they're gaining a little bit of speed here on their running game.
Casey Byrne again with another carry, but cannot get first down yardage. So 4th and 4 it is, and it's time for Australia to punt. Xanthi Gray gets a boot to it. It's a good one that bounces once. That will be returned by Kendra Nash up across the 45 to the 47-yard line. One thing that Canada has had through the course of this game so far is quality field position. Kendra Nash helping the True North there with a decent return.
That's what I was just about to mention, Jim. You took the words out of my mouth. This is great starting field position for Canada. We'll see if they can get that high-powered offense back on track.
Maud Lacasse 4 for 4 for 70 yards and a touchdown. Let's see if she can add to it here on first down. She floats it up, and that's her first incompletion of the afternoon. As she was looking for Roussel, who has been her favorite target today. 2 receptions for 55 yards.
Looks like the pass was just a little bit off. I think she threw a little off her back foot there. Just missed her receiver.
2nd and 10, Canada. Ball at their own 48-yard line. They send trips to the wide side left. Lacasse drifts it up and is incomplete. She was looking for Roussel once again. And it looked like she checked off downfield, didn't like what she saw, and then tried to look for some relief from Roussel and just sail it over the intended receiver's head.
Yeah, she was looking for a receiver on the back side, and looks like the coverage was quite good over there, so she checked off.
Third and 10, Canada, a likely passing situation. Lacasse feels the pressure, sets up the screen inside to Eggy, and she is tackled at the 48-yard line by Hannah Wiles. That'll force a punting situation on Canada. So after an offensive output for Canada, it is 4th down. Canada happy to go for it here rather than punting at the Australia 48. A little bit of early motion and flags come down, so that's going to aid Canada's push on 4th down, as long as it's not a false start on the right side of the line.
Looks as though it was an offside on defense, but we'll see what the call is here coming up.
You know, decision time for Canada now. It was easy to try to stay on the field in a 4th and 6 situation. Now they're facing 4th and 11. Now it's time to punt, and Christy Elliott's out on the field. Christy Elliott, who struggled a little bit in the red-white game in Ottawa earlier this year.
Having a bit of trouble getting that one off.
Yeah, and that will be downed at the 43-yard line. Christy Elliott, who is a place kicker by trade. She doesn't punt for Simon Fraser University. And Canada, now we see why they made the decision to go for it on 4th and 6.
4th and 6, yeah. Absolutely.
That was not an oil painting.
So now we've got some great field position here for Australia to start off. We'll see if they can make a drive of it. This is time for them to capitalize.
1st and 10, Australia from their own 43. Maholick with the little pitch to DeMizio, and on the end around, she gets across the 50 into Canadian territory at the 48-yard line. Why not get the ball into the hands of one of your best athletes? And instead of throwing it to her, there's a little pitch to DeMizio.
She's got wheels, DeMizio, so she's definitely a threat both in the air, but also seems to be on the ground.
2nd and 2. There's Demizio in motion again, but Paholic tries to zip it to the right side, and it's in and out of the hands of Christy Turner. And that'll rattle up 3rd down.
Just floated that one a little high.
On 3rd and 2. Paholic throws it up, and this time she connects with Cody Fuller just outside of the Canadian 25-yard line. They'll mark it at the 26. 1st down, Australia. On the march again. There's the pitch to Demizio. And the Australian coaching staff was talking a bit about a trick package that they were putting in, something that was a little different, a little unorthodox, but easy to run. This motion that they're getting from their wide receiver is exactly that right now with the 2 backs in the backfield. It's been productive for them.
They're catching Canada off guard on it.
Inside,
here we are.
Inside pitch to Riley Hodgson. She seeks out a couple of yards.
Bit of a different look. Trying to keep Canada on their heels.
Good inside read by Muhindo to limit that gain to 7, 3rd and 3. Byrne, the lone running back in the backfield. Double slot set for Australia. Paholic zips it over the middle, and it's incomplete. She was looking to connect with Cody Fuller once again. And that'll bring up 4th down and decision time for Australia.
Canadian defense doing a good job of managing that coverage in the secondary. Paholic didn't really have much to work with.
Well, Australia's going to go for it on 4th and 3. Paholic throws, it's incomplete. I believe she was looking for Fuller. As that pass was not in the neighborhood, and Australia will turn it over on downs.
Not necessarily a bad decision by Australia since they were so deep in the zone. They're handing the ball back over to Canada, but Canada's pinned quite deep, so I think that was a decent decision by Australia to go for it, trying to gain some momentum.
Well, it is the worst field position of the day for Team Canada, starting to drive out at their own 19. Canada up by a converted touchdown, 13-6 in this game 1. As they'll go to the ground and get some big-time yards out to the 38-yard line with Hannah McEwen.
Great blocking here. We've got the guard, number 65, coming up, picking up some linebackers, really leading the way.
Gain of 19 yards on that last play. 1st down, Canada. McEwen with the call again. Follows her blocks, and this time gets about 3. Stopped by Rachel Ware, amongst others. Edbrook in there as well. 2nd and 7, Canada. Cass happy to keep it on the ground with Eggie, and she finds Asima, bursts into Australian territory at the 44-yard line.
Eggie having a great start. Doing really well with these carries and just following her blocks, creating a nice hole on that 3-man D front.
Another first down for Canada. This drive started at the 19-yard line. It's the 5th play of the drive. Nagy surges across the 40, good for a gain of close to 5.
These are just good decisions by Canada. I mean, your run game is working for you. They've gained some really great yardage in just a short few plays, taking some time off the clock.
Nice block by Andrea Backlund, the center, to open up that gap for Eggy on that last gain of 4. 2nd and 6 Canada. At the Australia 40, Lacasse finds her receiver. That was Pointe-Briand at the 35. Depending on the spot, she could have the first down.
The Aussies looking like they're giving the Canadian receivers a little bit more of a cushion now. They've been beat a couple of times in the air.
Ashley Vicklin, the left guard, downfield. Legal receiver downfield. So the ball is marked back at the 45-yard line, wiping out that game by Pointe-Briand. The 2nd and 11 facing Maud Lacasse in Canada.
I have a feeling they'll be putting it in the air.
2 receivers to the wide side right, 2 to the left. And indeed, they do go to the air. Lacasse up the middle, and it's incomplete. That one sailed dangerously over the head of Sarah Wright, who normally plays H-back, playing slot on that set.
Yeah, Lacasse looking... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jim.
No, I was just saying, I believe that they thought they had the mismatch with the H-back in there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And Lacasse is just looking for that seam. There is a gap there, a little hole right between the corner and the safety, trying to feed it in, but that ball got away from her.
3rd down and 11 Canada. Pass throws incomplete. They were looking for interference. Roussel was tied up with the defender there momentarily, and she's not very happy about it. Let's see if she has a case.
Neither is Lacasse. Looks like she was held on that.
Kelly Whitehead in coverage. She gets the job done. And that rolls up 4th down for Canada. And let's see if Christy Elliott can punt with a little more confidence this time.
Yeah, Australia dodged a bullet, I think, on that one. There we go.
As that will be fielded by Hodgson, who gets forced out of bounds just outside the 20. Flags are down on the return. I'm not sure if at the World Championship level I've seen the 4-step approach done by a punter before, but that time it worked.
She's standing about 15 yards back there, so that snap has to be a long one. She's taken a lot of time to get rid of the ball, but the line is holding, so hey, if it's working, go for it. And if that's what she needs to be able to get a good punt off, then as long as they can make it work. I think special teams are always a hard thing to pull together at a world championship like this because the team comes together so quickly, and it's often one of the afterthoughts.
Well, Canada started their last drive from their own 19. Even worse news for Australia, starting this one just inside their own 10. Ferrand with the call, and she is rudely interrupted at the line of scrimmage by 4 Canadian defenders, led by Joni Deschenaux.
Yeah, that's a nice stuff by the defensive line. And good teamwork. They all work together on that one.
On the slant, Cody Fuller hauls it in and gets it across the 25 to the 26. She's halted by Emery Dale.
Quick slants like that are always a great option just when you need to get a few yards quick. Nice and easy, especially when Canada's DB sitting back in coverage.
Oh, and it's a fumble. Ball's loose on the turf. Let's see who's got it. Looks like Canada may have recovered off the mishandle by Paholik.
And if this is Canada's ball, this is a golden opportunity here. Looks like it.
Hard to catch the number who recovered the football, but that just got away from Paholik on that mixed motion in the backfield. She loses the handle. Canada gets the ball at the 20-yard line, just on the edge of the red zone. Up by a single major score.
This is an opportunity for Canada to try to quash all of Australia's hopes and dreams here.
Here is Hannah McEwen around the corner, gets a gain of 8, maybe close to 9.
Canada doing a good job of mixing it up, both with some runs to the outside, but also some runs up the middle as well.
They're going to call it 2nd and 2. With the ball just outside the 12. 3 receivers to the left side as Lacasse pulls it down, and won't get much of a gain, but should be enough for the first down. And she was stopped by Dania Herdman. So first down, Team Canada. They don't have to get a touchdown to get a first down. That ball just outside the 10. And the give to McEwen, and there is no space in the interior of that line as Emma Deller managed to cancel that gap.
That gives a nice confidence boost to Australia right there, with Canada knocking on the doorstep. The great stuff.
Yeah. Wrong graphic up on the screen. It was 3rd and 1, not 1st and 10, so now it is 4th and 1. I've got that correct. And Canada's about 2 feet away from the first down, and they will get stuffed. What a play by Daly McMillan to train in on the Canadian running back Haley Aggie and stuff her for a tackle for a loss for 3 on a 4th and 1 play.
This is huge by Australia. Really, really great job of stepping it up on defense and now getting the ball back. And that's tough to do. So kudos to Australia. That is hard to do because Canada's come into the red zone and been productive.
What are they doing with this 3-player front that is confusing Canada so much at times?
Well, I think what's happening is they're bringing in some of their linebackers, their DBs that are creeping up. So what Canada's having a hard time is seeing who's coming from where. So typically you're used to seeing a 4-man front and you know who you're going to be blocking. A lot of the O-linemen will have sort of specific people to pick up, but it's a lot harder when you're not seeing a front that you normally prepare for, and you've got players coming in from different angles, different places, making it much harder to pick up the players.
There you see players by club for Australia. You know, we talked about teams and leagues in every state, but Australia was in a unique situation during the pandemic. Western Australia around Perth, that was where they could play football during the pandemic. The rest of the country was really on lockdown, and that's reflected in these numbers. 12 players from Western Australia.
Absolutely. I think they were very fortunate to be able to continue playing and really develop their players throughout the pandemic.
We now have a change of quarterback. Danielle de Groot in for the Outback. Last team listed, the Seattle Majestics. One of two players on this Australian roster that spent time in the United States. On 2nd and 12, de Groot is mowed down. Chantel Vogel with the stop. Yep.
You got to think that these American players, they do bring some experience having played at a high level in the States, which could be helpful for Team Australia.
Right now, Australia going in the wrong direction. 3rd and 15. De Groot pulls down the ball and pops the ball loose. Let's see who's got it. Just short of the goal line.
I think Canada's got it again. Defense bringing the heat.
Stripes now having a conference. The ball is placed inches short of the goal line, then pulled back up again. And it needs to be mentioned, we do not have the benefit of replay here for the officials at this level. They're calling a Canadian touchdown.
All right.
Maybe a bit of an anticlimax after the officials got together and met for over a minute to discuss the outcome of that turnover, but Canada ends up with a touchdown.
Canada will take it. I don't think there's going to be any issues with that.
So Christy Elliott in for the point after. They haven't updated the score on the scoreboard, but it is 19-6. Elliott looking to make it 20. Bit of a sloppy pin. She gets it up and gets it through. So 20-6, Canada leading Australia on a rather unfortunate series with a cold quarterback coming in and coughing up the ball on 3rd down and long.
Yeah, that's a tough one for de Groot to come into that poor field position. And like you say, I think she just was a little rusty out there. Having some miscues with the center and their snaps, and things were just a little off for them. And it unfortunately resulted in a touchdown for Canada. So Canada's doing a good job of keeping that tone.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what Australia counters with at quarterback with a minute left in this first half. Do they go back to de Groot? Do they go to Paholic? I think they put de Groot in there because she's a quarterback that can run with the football. She just didn't have any space to run. Canada did great contain on her on every down.
Yeah. She really didn't have anywhere to go. But I'm surprised because Paholic was actually doing all right with her passing game.
Elliott to kick off. Drives it deep. DeMizio across the 35 and no more. So 52 seconds for Australia to work with to try to get back in to within one score against Canada in what was, at least for the first 22 minutes, a promising first half.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you know, if Australia can build something here, then going into halftime, if you've got another touchdown under your belt, things are good.
De Groot remains in a quarterback, and she is steamrolled. Once again, she's not getting any time to set up in the backfield.
Canada's D-line seems to have figured out the offensive line here. That was great penetration right up the middle. Looks like she almost went untouched.
So that's ruled an incomplete pass. The ball is marked at the 36-yard line. 2nd and 10 Australia. 48 clicks left on the clock. DeGroot throws complete to Riley Hodgson, who snowshoes her way up to the 42 for a gain of close to 6. They need more than 6 at this stage.
Yeah, she doesn't have a lot of time to get rid of the ball. O-line seems to be breaking down a little bit, so DeGroot's not having a lot of time to do much.
They keep it on the ground and will end up about 2 yards short. I believe that was Casey Byrne with the call. Yes, it was.
Some nice gang tackling by Canada. Almost looked like a rugby ruck.
So 4th down and 1. Timeout time for Australia to try to regroup. Trying to detect the number of the player that's been causing all the ruckus for Canada, not listed on our roster, but 52 is Brooklyn Dice. I've been able to triangulate that and figure that out. She started as 92, then was distributed to us as 62. There's a 52 not there. Judging by the dimension of that player, that is Brooklyn Dice.
Thanks for clarity on that one, because I'm looking at our sheet here, Jim, and I'm going, I don't see a number 52, and she's creating mayhem for the Australian offense here. So nice to be able to give her some credit.
Well, it comes to her honestly. Her dad, Bob, coaches in the Canadian Football League, has coached with a number of teams. And Tristan, her brother, also coaches with the BC Lions and was a champion quarterback in the CFL. As the call goes up the middle, depending on the spot, Australia should have the first down. It looked like they got across the 46-yard line as DeGroot called her own number.
Still got a little bit of time. I'm trying to put something together here. At the very least, if you can put together a nice drive right before the half, that'll give you a little bit more confidence going in. At least you can sort of know that you can't match up against this Canadian defense.
So Australia got enough yards for the first down with the ball marked at the 47. Australia burns their last timeout.
Canada here, you just really want to play more of a prevent defense with the time that's on the clock. You want to make sure that nothing's going over your heads deep. Might be willing to give up a few yards on the ground.
So coming up for Australia, it'll be first down from their own 47. 3 receivers left side, 10 seconds remaining. DeGroot throws complete for DeMizio. DeMizio needs to get out of bounds here. She does with 2 seconds remaining in this first half at the 41-yard line. So Australia's got not bad field position to try to take a strike to the promised land.
Throw up a Hail Mary and see what happens. I think that's probably your only option, because Canada, you got to imagine, is going to be sitting deep.
DeGroot throwing incomplete, in and out of the hands of DeMizio. Broken up. And that will do it for the first half of play. A first half that saw these two teams trading off, punch by punch, drive by drive, and then Canada taking advantage of turnovers.
Yeah, turnovers will kill you, Jim. And in this case, it was the turning point, I think, for the first half.
Well,
because up until then, these teams were very evenly matched.
Here's your score after one half of play. Canada leading Australia 20-6. We'll return with halftime after this. Here in Helsinki, Canada leads 20-6 at halftime over Australia. Just 2 weeks ago in Birmingham, Alabama, it was a major step forward for IFAF and flag football at the World Games. And you could call it somewhat of a major upset as Mexico took on the United States in the final. Let's go to a recap of the women's final at the World Games for World Flag. What a fantastic statement by Team Mexico at the World Games, earning the gold medal over the United States on their home field. And we'll have more on the World Games as we get through these games as well in our halftime features. But for now, it's Canada leading Australia 20-6 at halftime. We'll be back to Vanta, Finland in just a moment. And welcome back to Vanta. We said that we would be giving you a little bit more from the World Games. Let's take a look at the men's championship and the recap from just about 2 weeks ago, and a major step forward for IFAF and flag football.
Americans have the same 4 coverage players on defense the entire game. They only alternate the rusher to keep him fresh. And as Zaraka goes to the end zone, he's got it complete. That's number 13. All right, so this is a fast-paced game. The American offense already out on the field. They begin each new possession from their own 5-yard line, and it's Hoosh Doucette going deep for the big fella. Bruce Knapp catches that one at the 2 and has his flag pulled immediately. 37% of the time, so let's see what Hoosh has up his sleeve here. Oh, it's a direct snap to number 14, and it's LeDerek Pablo Smith. Did he get it in the corner of the end zone? That's Desmond Lewis. Does come down with it for the 2-point conversion.
And at the line of scrimmage now, based upon that book, ready to roll.
Zarodka wide open. Tom Searsek, was he in bounds?
Wow.
Oh, they called it in. Tom Searsek with some footwork to get 1 foot into the end zone for another Italian touchdown.
What a throw by Zarodka. Look at this throw where only his guy can get it. Look at the catch. Gets the
tight.
1 foot in there. Referee right there on the call. Look at the throw and the catch.
Well, I love the play call, guys.
It's a pretty special.
And just watch Hoosh Doucette maneuver in the pocket to buy time. He's got that complete. Number 22, David Bobo Price, making some nice moves to avoid his flag getting pulled. Eventually out of bounds, and maybe a little extra on the flag pull.
Team USA is very explosive. Team Italy is more methodical.
Inside the no-run zone, how about the shovel pass? And it has been the Hoosh to Bruce show here from Legion Field.
Again.
Does it there on the shovel. Team USA going for 2 once again here. It's Doucette with the rock to start, trying to make a couple of miss, and there's the backwards lateral. You can do that as many times as you want, but check out Pablo Smith take off and get into the end zone. 2 points going for Team USA. Here's Zarodka. Oh, sidearm, got it complete. Sant'Agostino for the Italian touchdown.
Did you see that throw there? The zip.
Balling.
Right? The zip of the ball to be able to fit that in between 2 Team USA defenders. Only where your guy is going to go get it as well, Mike.
He's doing a great job with his eyes. You saw that? He looked straight down the field to freeze the defenders, and then at the last minute, put his eyes to the right, found his receiver, let the ball.
Italians looking for their first converted point after on the night, again going for 2. Here's Zarodka from the 20, letting it slide in. It's picked off once again. Team USA defense certainly tightening up on those extra points. So 0 for 3 are the Italians on point afters, but they do take the lead on the Sant'Agostino touchdown, 18-16. And it's number 11, Amir Brown with the pick. 10 yards tacked on there, and now a first down from the 12 here for Hoosh. Oh, no, direct snap to Pablo. He gives it to Hoosh, back to Pablo, and he walks into the end zone. Love the play design there.
Great play. That was like a give and go in basketball.
And at their best, Team USA defense, 6 seconds, 4, 3, Zarodka, last play of the half. In the back of the end zone, does he get it complete? Yes, indeed, and it's Sant'Agostino. Gianluca Sant'Agostino will send Italy to the half on a touchdown.
Zarodka is in his bag right now. He is ready
Monopoly
to
man,
play.
huh?
Yeah, he is ready to go. I mean, again, the arm angles. Look at this throw. That's a short arcing throw, and which is very difficult to do in the red zone, especially when the field's small.
Yeah.
And we're going to see it here at the start of the second half, the speed of Team USA and Hoosh at the quarterback position.
And he's got the snap here. First down, he's going deep once again, looking for number 4, Laval Davis, and he's got it. What a grab, Laval Davis with his 4th touchdown of these World Games, and it's a big one to open the second half.
That's why if you're the U.S. men's squad, you are never truly worried, because with just one swing of Doucette's arm, throwing the ball almost the entirety of the entire field. Great job tracking the ball in the air. Laval Davis, big time catch.
Which is uncharacteristic. And that's Pablo Smith, takes the snap, gets it back to Hoosh. Hoosh on the run. Hoosh into the end zone, given 2 points. Unstoppable with the ball in his hands, 32-24, Team USA up.
And use the extra defender to fill in the holes of the defense.
There's Zaratka. Oh, nearly had his flag pulled and got it complete. That's a touchdown. Zaratka to Gerbino, the two New Yorkers on Team Italy connecting for their second score of the day. Those two now bringing Italy within 2.
But then to get his feet down and be able to tap those toes.
Direct snap to 14 Pablo Smith. Pitch back to Errol Doucette. And Hoosh making defenders miss. Does he get into the end zone? Waiting for the call from the officials. And they're going to confer. Drama builds here at Legion Field in Birmingham.
You see